Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
What up, what up, what up? It's your boy Chucks on Birds of a Feather, live from the Real Talk Studios. The first half, brought to you by our doc, Paul Vidal of Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC. Find them in Burlington, Cherry Hill, and Princeton. SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com. What's good, Kevin Godwin? Your first loss, what? No Patriots jersey because they experienced their first loss?
Yeah, I had to wash the bad juju out of it. It's currently in the wash.
I told you, the Ravens, man. I told you. Oh, man. But it's okay. That's only one loss. You'll be fine.
One too many.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. On the ones and twos, we've got not Brodo. We've got the Crumb, Ralph Delavecchio. What's good, my brother?
What up, boys? Thank you for
What
having
is
me produce
up?
your show again.
It's good to
been
see you
nice.
as always, man.
It's been nice.
Yeah. We have a few people out today. Not only is Chrome out, he just got back from a trip and he's really not doesn't have the how do I say this? The energy, or like he's just unable to participate in the show tonight.
He's a DNP.
He's a DNP. Did not practice, did not prepare, whatever you want to say. I'm just kidding. Chrome, get some rest, man. I know you had a long few days, and come back next week all prepared. But we also have Brodo out, and that's why Mr. Delavecchio is here, taking his spot. So we'll be all right. We'll be all right. I don't know if DeSean will be all right, but we'll be all right. And we'll get to that. We will get to that soon. But our poll question brought to you by ATS Sports Picks, ATSSportsPicks.com. Use promo code A2D to get the 20% off. Our poll question is: the Eagles will make changes at wide receiver. Agree or disagree? This poll question was looking good as of last night when I made it. Now it looks kind of like already kind of like, okay, it's inevitable as of today, because as the reports has said, or as it was reported, Jordan Matthews was in Philadelphia for a physical today. So it looks like it's inevitable that he will be joining the Eagles once again. And to make room for his inevitable, what seems, I don't want to jump the gun because he hasn't been signed yet. You know what I mean? God forbid he fails the physical, or the Howie and company decide not to sign him officially. But the Eagles, in order to clear up potential roster space for him, and for even Crevon LeBlanc, who should be coming back from IR, they cut Andrew Sendejo, and they put DeSean Jackson on IR. So that clears up 2 roster spots for both Matthews potentially and LeBlanc. So to further the poll question, do you see any other changes being made at the wide receiver position? And we know that Jordan Matthews is coming back, most likely. But do you think that he is the only one that will be added to this roster before the Patriots and Eagles game in 2 weeks, in a little less than 2 weeks? Do you think there'll be another name that's brought in? Maybe a Mike Wallace. Reports are that they reached out to Torrey Smith to potentially come back. Because it shows that maybe Matthews wasn't the only one. Maybe they reached out to Torrey first before they went to Matthews. Who knows? But do you think, and you and Hoba obviously answer the question by commenting in the chat, on Facebook, on YouTube, Twitter, but do you believe that there will be even more changes, more additions to the wide receiver position?
And so from what I read is that they, I do agree with the poll. I think they have to bring somebody in at this point. They can't not do anything. Obviously, we've seen what that does. Not having a deep threat or just having a extra body to spread the ball around to does for their offense. But from what I read is they've got a bunch of different names in the hat right now. J.J. Nelson was one of them. Torrey Smith. They reached out to Antonio Brown's camp to see what was going on with the allegations there. I've got the same thoughts as far as bringing him back in, but they did reach out to him. Apparently, the Seahawks also reached out to Antonio Brown before they signed Josh Gordon. So, a lot of people were throwing their name back in that ring. But I do agree. I think it is Jordan Matthews that they bring in. He already knows a lot of the guys in the locker room still. He already knows the play to a point as far as any major changes, bringing in the 21 personnel leaning with Sanders. But, I do agree that they got to do something here.
Yeah. Ralphie, thoughts?
Yeah, obviously, I think they do bringing in a wide receiver when they had DeSean go to IR today. Opens up 2 more, and then they also cut to now, like you were saying, that opens up 2 roster spots. Either that's bringing back LeBlanc, for the rest of the year.
I think they are. I think LeBlanc.
And then you just have another, option either that's for a wide receiver or something else for the team. But I mean, the glaring hole right now is wide receiver. And it's not like Matt Collins is doing anything on the field anyway.
He's doing less than
so
nothing.
you might as well bring somebody in that can at least catch a football or at least, give you a presence on the field that he can, actually make plays for us would be nice as well.
Yeah, I mean, the tough part is, I mean, it makes – we've been going back and forth with people online. There are I don't know how there are still people defending Matt Collins and saying, "Oh, he's out there for a reason. He blocks and he plays special teams." I don't give a rat's ass at this point. Like he's and excuse my French, I'm sorry, but we need receivers who can catch the ball more than we need run blockers and special teams play at this point. That's the truth. I mean, on a wide receiver, run blocking is important. I don't want to ever downplay that. That is still important. And it could mean the difference between a 20-yard gain and an 80-yard touchdown to the house. It absolutely could. So I don't want to downplay that. But at the same time, we still have good blockers on the team. We don't have wide receivers making any plays.
And not only that, you've got other teams that do something similar. The Patriots obviously being the biggest one on how heavily they coach on special teams is we've got guys like Nate Ebner and Matthew Slater that are solely special teams, return, specialty play type guys that they're not out there to catch the ball. They're listed at wide receiver or corner depending on the day and where the depth's at, but you don't see them out there catching balls for a reason. Like if they're on the field, it's not going to them. It's a smash mouth play where they're saying, "Hey, you know what we're running, come and stop us." It's not let's trick you and throw it over here like Matt Collins is trying to do, and either dropping it or behind the line or whatever it might be,
or committing a penalty.
It's just it's not working. It never has. Having a specialty guy in a non-specialty position where you need big talent at, versus going out and getting a guy like a Jordan Matthews or someone that's already out there that can actually play the position you need help at.
It really has been pretty annoying and frustrating seeing the backlash over suggesting to bring in Matthews to replace Matt Collins. I'm sure we said it last week when Chrome was here. No, we did. We did. But I'm going to reiterate it because there are still idiots there that want to be against the move or the potential move. Again, he's not signed yet. But it does to me, how can you be against it? One, we're not asking him to be the wide receiver 1 of this team. We're not asking him to be the top option. That's still going to be Alshon, even though he's having a down year. And I have my thoughts on Alshon. I will say later. He's probably not going to be ahead of Aguilar because Aguilar is the only wide receiver left with any type of speed. So regardless if he's playing well or not, they still need a dynamic weapon out there. What like Jordan Matthews is going to be the third wide receiver. He's going to be taking Mac Hollins' spot. So there's no way you can tell me he's not an upgrade from Mac freaking Hollins, who's giving you less than nothing. He's giving you no production. He's actually hurting you because he's been committing penalties. He had a really bad penalty on the one Sanders run that was a big gain. It got called back because of his stupid holding penalty. Like he's now a detriment to your offense more than he is just nothing. He's less than nothing. He's contributing negative plays. So how is Jordan Matthews not an upgrade? And you can say, oh, like he got let go by the Niners. He got let go by the Niners because they have a bevy, like a huge number, a lot of young wide receivers they drafted and brought in over the past few years that they're going to play. They're going to play these young guys they invested draft capital in over just a journeyman wide receiver. That's what they're going to do. It's a smart thing. Any team would do that. So there were no opportunities for Jordan Matthews to get on the field, and understandably so. That doesn't mean Jordan Matthews is garbage. He's not garbage. He's just like an average wide receiver. But right now, average is a lot better than Mac Hollins. So I don't want to hear that, like Matthews sucks. Like there are so many people out there that have like a personal agenda, or like because Matthews didn't pan out as a wide receiver one that a lot of us were hoping he would be, that they hate him now, and because of all his drops that he had prior in his career. Like he only had one drop pass last year, and he made numerous big catches for the Eagles last season, including one in the playoffs against the Saints. And so like you cannot say, there's nothing you can ever show me to tell me that Mac Hollins is a significant like downgrade, like he's worse than Jordan Matthews, because Mac Hollins he's horrible. I want to upgrade from Hollins' spot with Jordan Matthews, and it makes sense. Like, do you want to bring in other guys? Like, sure, there are other guys I'd be happy to have. Like, people keep mentioning guys like J.J. Nelson, or like even bring back Mike Wallace, or like Michael Crabtree. Like, sure, I don't care. I'd be up for them too. But the reason why we keep saying Jordan Matthews, and it's evident in them bringing him back in for a physical, is because it just makes sense. He's already familiar with the team, the system, and he's been here. There's no transition. There's no you don't have to worry about him learning anything. He's already been part of this. So it just makes too much sense. Does that mean that Howie's going to stop at Matthews? No, he could absolutely, and I believe he will, bring in another wide receiver, not just Matthews. So I still don't understand the backlash over bringing in Matthews to replace Hollins. It's just people wanting to be picky and having an agenda against Matthews because of his prior struggles with the team.
Not with that, you have to look at it a step further. Is okay, what am I getting out of my wide receivers 3 and 4 in Mac Hollins and in our Arcega-Whiteside? Is what is that doing to everybody else? Alshon Jeffrey is not a number one receiver. He's just not
anymore.
He's not fast enough to play outside, and he's not big enough to be a standalone slot guy like you have in your tight ends to play opposite side of the field. He's decent, but he needs somebody else to lean on. That way he's not double covered, because he can't do it. He just hasn't been that guy ever. He's always had somebody at least in the long run of a season to play tandem with. So if you're asking him to do that, okay, now he's locked down, because he doesn't have the speed to beat anybody. Then you're looking at guys like Nelson Aguilar, who, okay, can he catch the ball? Yes, but can you depend on him to do it every play? No.
Well, not anymore.
Not right now. No. So then you're looking at, okay, who can I lean on to catch the ball? And right now, it's your running backs. And do I think that they could win with that play, the 21 personnel? Sure, they can. But are they going to make a run like everyone is leaning on them to do? From the get-go, from the preseason on, every week, you hear guys say, we can still win, we can still win. No, you're not winning a playoff game, with this receiver core right now, you have to add something.
Well, I think that I think that Alshon, he has shown before, like in 2017, he was a beast. Like he was to me, still was a number one receiver back then, making plays, making difficult catches in traffic, going up and getting it, and he didn't have anyone opposite him. He had Torrey Smith.
But he had players that were playing better than what they're doing now consistently.
Well, you can say that about almost any. Like, I'm not saying he's an elite wide receiver, but I'm saying he can be. He's shown before that he can be a top option, and I'm talking about before. I'm not talking about right now.
Yeah.
I'm talking about before. He showed that he could be the top option as a team's as the offense's X receiver. In 2017, he was that, but now he hasn't been. I don't know what happened. And I have a video coming out on the A2D page sometime this week. But like that one play in the fourth quarter, and I'm sure Ralphie, you remember it. It was like 3rd and 11 or something. It was the second to last possession the Eagles had. And Wentz got killed in the pocket. He got absolutely blasted. But he stood in there, made a perfect throw to Alshon over the middle, and it was right in Alshon's hands, and he dropped it. One of his 3 drops, and it like that drop really pissed me off because you have Wentz, who knows he's gonna get killed.
Yeah.
I forgot who hit him, but he hit him hard, like hard. But Wentz still stood in there, made a perfect throw. None of this it was a little off, so Alshon had to adjust. No, it was right in his hands between 2 defenders. It was a perfect throw. You couldn't ask for it to be any better. Alshon dropped it. He flat out dropped it. You cannot have that from your number one, your top wide receiver. You cannot. And there are several other plays. He dropped 2 other balls. And then you have, again, weeks ago against the Vikings, that one pass down the sideline that Wentz dropped in the breadbasket.
Yeah, if he stays in, yeah.
Alshon doesn't stay in bounds. And you have guys like Seth Joyner making excuses like, oh, no, Carson had to lead him with a better pass kind of toward the middle of the field more than it was too outside. No, that's bullcrap. And Seth Joyner is great, but I don't buy that at all. Like, what happened last night's game? Michael Gallup makes a catch, stays in bounds by leaping over the defender and then jumps into the end zone. You're telling me that their second wide receiver on their team can make a play like that, but our top wide receiver can't?
Right.
Like, you can't stay in bounds? Asking your top wide receiver, wide receiver 1, to make a play is too much to ask? Like, you're asking, so Carson Wentz has to be absolutely perfect? This is not fair. Alshon has to be better. The wide receivers have to be better. So there has to be, again, going back and scaling back in, there has to be upgrades. You start with Matt Collins, who's giving you nothing, and you get Matthews. Matthews is a definite upgrade.
And even for Matt Collins, the guy who said that he would rather play special teams than be a wide receiver.
Yeah, that's pitiful. Come on.
There's your when you're making up your mind of, okay, if whoever comes in to take that spot, then you just put Mac on special teams. You already made up your mind there.
Yeah.
So you have to make a change at wide receiver, and could it be a Jordan Matthews? I mean, you probably don't want him, but AB's floating out there.
No, I'm not. I'm even on.
AB's out there.
You can't touch him until after everything is settled, because what happens if they go out and sign him and he's immediately put on the commissioner's list?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. That's another thing.
I'm not touching AB.
But yeah, I mean, AB's out there as well. Jordan Matthews already came in, so it's already the writing's on the wall. It's probably going to be Jordan Matthews again. The loyal side piece has come back.
The options are limited, but it doesn't mean you can't at least try. Even why the hell? And I'm sure this is going to change after the bye. I think it is. But why the hell hasn't JJ Arcega-Whiteside gotten any snaps over Matt Collins? It's time. I don't care if he looks bad in practice. Let him look back. Put him out on the field and see if he looks as bad on the field. Even if he looks bad during the game, that's not going to be anything worse than what Matt Collins is giving you. You can't get any worse than what Matt Collins is out there doing. You can't. So there's no downside to having J-Jaw in there. There isn't. It's sad. This wide receiver group, even with Nelson, and you guys know I love Nelson, but he's also someone who's a shell of himself since 2017. Those 2 deep shots he had in the game, one down the middle of the field and one down the sideline, you're telling me you can't be aggressive and attack the ball? Like, you're that soft where any bit of contact, you're flailing around and you're out of the play?
Yeah.
That's pitiful. Like, 2017 Nelson Aguilar makes those catches. I guarantee you that, because he made numerous big catches in 2017. But 2019 Aguilar, that's half the receiver that he was back in 17.
Oh, absolutely. In 2017, you saw him. You're like, okay, this is the pick that we had. This is the guy that we drafted from USC, the guy that can fly up and down the field and make defenses honest in 2017. And now it's like, okay, 2015, 2016, you had the drops were there. You got over in 2017, but these past 2 years, yet again, the drops are still there. The inconsistencies are still there as well.
There's no
it's like you can't get over the hump.
Do you remember back and this is proof, and I know it's one play, but this is the most standout play. 2017, and we'll get the comments after this, but 2017, after the game against the Giants where Nick Foles was playing, it was in New York, and it was late in the game. Do you remember the jump ball to Nelson Aguilar where he literally jumped over the
Yes.
Giants quarterback?
Yes.
You're telling me Nelson doesn't have the talent to do that? He does.
Yeah.
He did it in 2017. So why isn't he doing it now? And that makes me mad. I'm not defending Nelson Aguilar now. I don't want anyone to get it twisted. What I'm saying is it's pitiful and pathetic that he has declined this much, where he showed flashes in 17, and there's no sign of that playmaker anymore. That's pathetic. That's inexcusable, and I'm tired of him. I'm really tired of him. I loved him. I stuck up for him maybe longer than almost any Eagles fan, but right now when you need him most, he's not coming up, and he's soft. I don't advocate for soft players. Like, I don't care if you don't have that much talent. If you play hard and show that you're not scared and you're not a soft player, I will respect you. But you're playing soft and you're shying away from contact. I don't have that. Like, I don't have that on my team. I can't say that.
For me, that's gotta be a confidence thing. And unfortunately, right now, out of the receivers, you don't have that veteran guy that can stay on the field that says, you know what, I'll show you what you're supposed to be doing. Throw me the ball no matter where it's at, and I'll go and get it, because that guy's DeSean, and obviously, we know where he's at right now.
Yeah. And going back on the Alshon thing, he's dropping balls that he catches 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, that's my point.
The sideline catches that he's bobbling and dropping, and the one-on-one balls that he's dropping, it angers me. It also says to yourself, maybe he's taking a little step back. Maybe the regression is starting to come in.
You're starting the injuries over the years. He's constantly hurt.
Yeah,
and they might be taking his toll. They might be taking their toll on him. They really have, and there are people that love him, and I get it. I love him for what he did.
Yeah,
he played the whole year hurt, and I will always love him for that. I always respect him. I'm not trying to disrespect Alshon. I'm just trying to call it as it is.
Yeah.
He's not the same. And you, as the top wide receiver, you need to be better. We just restructured your contract. We are stuck with your contract. We showed how we showed faith.
You ain't going anywhere.
You ain't going anywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
So step up.
Yeah.
Like, step up, because you're You're supposed to be the number 1 receiver, but you're playing the way you're playing. You'd be like the third option on a lot of teams. That's the truth. That's the damn truth. All right, let's go to comments. I'll go to YouTube first. And then I know Facebook's flying. But we got Philly fan 2003 saying Eagles should go out and get AB. No, I'm not. No, forget that. Bryce Blackwell says, yo, they'll bring in at least 2. Yeah, I agree. Cool P19 says Martavis Bryant. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Is he even still? Didn't he get arrested or put in jail or something like that?
I have no idea. I knew that there was.
He did get in trouble because he got traded to the Steelers, went to the Raiders.
Yeah.
Then he got cut from the Raiders, but I don't know what happened after that.
I don't know. I forget. Gary Jennings just got cut from the Seahawks, says Dollar Bill. I don't know who Gary Jennings is. Bryce Blackwell.
Got cut too.
I mean,
he did. Yes, he did.
Moncrief.
From the
I'm not a
Steelers.
huge fan of Moncrief, but I mean, I don't know.
From what I read here, he went somewhere. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Oh,
but
okay. Bryce Blackwell says the 2020 receiver class is loaded. We gotta get at least 3 of those guys. Yes, the 2020 class is freaking and that doesn't go just for wide receivers. It's loaded in corner, I think, and running back. Oh my God, we need to capitalize on this draft class.
CeeDee Lamb.
Bryce Blackwell says Wentz needs faster guys. Good points, A2D Radio. Do you think the guys don't want to play for Wentz that's out there? No, I don't believe that's the case. I don't believe that's the case. Things would look much worse if they did not want to play for Wentz.
Yeah.
You'd know. So that's a Max Kellerman idiotic take. No, he said that this morning on First Take. I saw it on Twitter. Someone had posted, one of the guys that I talked to, he was like, "Hey Max Kellerman, I would like to have you officially as a guest on BGN Radio so that I can tell you how much of an idiot you are."
That's amazing.
he's horrible.
I can see if they say coaching. I don't necessarily see why they would throw Wentz under the bus like that.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you've got younger guys coming in. You've got people taking pay cuts to stay with the team. Obviously, being a playoff contender, still only a game out of the division. I think it's, if anything, I put it on coaching because they're not wanting to make moves as far as going out and bringing anyone else while you're in contention. To say that they don't want to play for Wentz, I think that's very outlandish.
That's a media and fan narrative that they want to just make up.
Yeah, they have to blame somebody. So.
Yeah, they'll blame someone. Yeah. All right, Facebook. We've got Andy Ritter says, "Have a great show." Chucks is a crumb. Ryan rules. Pat suck. Big Daddy Thomas Arnott says, "Where's Chrome?" LOL. Chrome chimes in. He comments. He says, "I ain't scared. I got no sleep and didn't watch a second of the game. Been out of the loop of the sports world since last week. LOL. And also, I'm gonna pass out in about 15 minutes. You go get your cat nap, Chrome. It's fine. Go get some rest." Bill Middlebrook says, Now that the Eagles did their part by winning 2 straight, it's time for Howie to do his part. We should get J.J. Nelson. He's very fast, and that's exactly what opens up everything on this offense. Jordan Matthews isn't enough. Chrome says, welcome back, Jordan. Vespi says, "Hey, yo, sorry to bother you at work. Must have gave Chrome too many Slim Jims on Thursday. To answer the poll, there is going to be a change in at the wide receiver core, but it's most likely that J-Matt is coming back." Bill Middlebrook says, "J-Matt takes D-Jack's roster spot, and J.J. Nelson takes Holland's roster spot." Well, Hollins is still on the team. He's not going anywhere. Well, he hasn't gone anywhere. I personally would cut him, but that's just me.
Or at least put him on the practice squad.
Jeff Lohmeyer says, "Continue to just run 2 tight end sets. Once Matthews gets up to speed, make sure Mac never sees the field. Jordan, Alshon, and Nelson have all the ability in the world to get it done." Yeah, I don't know about that. We'll see. They're going to have to be better in the second half. Bill Middlebrook says, "With the remaining schedule, we will go 10-6 or 11-5 the way we are. So get J.J. Nelson your speed guy and go all in. Broad Street." Jeff Lohmeyer says, "I love Jordan Matthews." Tom says he agrees with the poll. Bill says 100% agree with Chucks, but get both is all I'm saying. Bill says get Nelson. Now he's got 2 weeks of practice. I wouldn't be opposed to J.J. Nelson, like I said earlier. He's got speed, and I get it. Options are limited, but I mean at this point, you got to.
He's a little bit of a bigger body too, no?
I don't think so. I think he's a smaller guy. I'll double check. Let me go through comments and I'll double check his build. I thought he was a smaller guy, kind of in the mold of like a John Brown, but maybe I'm confusing him with someone else.
Who is that?
J.J. Nelson.
Okay, I'll look it up.
Cool. Thanks, Rafi. Jim Newton says Wentz only has confidence in his running backs and Ertz, and you wonder why. You wonder why he only has confidence in his running backs and Ertz. Oh, and Goddard too. The tight ends and running backs are the only playmakers we have.
When your wide receivers can't catch a beach ball. But.
Yeah, you wonder why. You wonder why Ertz was targeted so much because he got open and he caught the balls. The wide receivers.
Everyone gets on him about not having yards as a catch, but at least he has the catch.
He has the catch. Yeah. He gets open. Jim Newton says Alshon is not giving 150%, maybe 75% at best. He would risk his body when catching for Foles and not so much for Wentz. I do not believe that at all. I don't believe that at all. He says Hollins should not be playing. He should be hosting A2D or working McDonald's drive-thru. No, he doesn't have to.
Yeah.
No. Get him out of here. Bill Middlebrook says they won't put him on the list. Then you got another cap and black ball talk. He'll play somewhere, but not here. I don't know who he's referring to there. Yeah, I don't know.
I think he's talking to AB.
AB? Okay. Dion Brown says, what's good, fellas? Poll question, no, I don't believe they will. Right now, if they do, it appears to be Jordan Matthews, and I'm okay with that. We still need someone to stretch the field. We don't have that. Nelson could be, but haven't seen it on a consistent basis. People say, Jeff Lamar, in response to what Jim said, he says, hey, now, we don't wish that on these guys. I'll bring Hollins in to host A2D. Hector OT says, Alshon's too slow. I believe he's hurt. Nelson has no confidence. And in football, not a wide receiver, that's a very important thing. Dion says the 2020 draft is also loaded with Mike linebackers, which we need, especially a dominant one. Haven't had one since Trotter. We had D'Amico Ryans. I love D'Amico Ryans. Remember D'Amico?
Yeah, D'Amico's.
D'Amico was great the couple of years.
Tore his Achilles the 1 year, came back and was almost an All-Pro.
Yeah, I love D'Amico.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, you can't. Trying to think. Are there any other linebackers? I know we haven't had many, but like I know there were some.
D'Amico and Trotter are the only ones that really stand out. Well, at least in my
recent years,
in my lifetime.
Yeah, D'Amico, Trotter, because the linebacker position hasn't been a point of emphasis for the Eagles for a long time.
For a very long
time. I mean, like Kendricks had high potential, but he never panned out.
If Jordan Hicks could stay healthy, that's also one as well that I would put up.
Yeah, he was so promising.
He was a cowboy killer, bro. He always came up
always
big in
around
Cowboy
the ball.
Games.
Yeah. We could have used him this year.
Yeah.
All right. Ivan Loy says Nelly took some bad advice from Randy Moss. Randy Moss is not any advice Randy Moss gives. I'm pretty sure it's good advice. Well, in terms of football, let me say that.
Yeah.
In terms of football.
Football.
Football wise. And Jeff says, like I said, fire Schwartz, hire Quinn, let him draft the next Legion of Boom. Wish we had a Greg Roman type of OC. That's interesting. I mean, like Quinn. The thing that scares me, and maybe it's because he had to be a head coach, but as a defensive-minded head coach in Atlanta, that defense was pretty bad. It's been pretty bad this year.
Yeah.
Very bad. And last year I don't want to put too much on it because like half of their defense was injured.
Hurt, yeah.
So, but I mean, like that's an interesting name, but that is pause for concern. Is that this year the defenses look bad? You would think that if the team is struggling, at least the defense would be okay, but they're not. So I don't know. I mean, at this point, like I'd be okay with it. Just something to take note of.
I would be shocked if he wasn't fired at the end of the year.
Oh yeah, I'd be. He's going to be.
Yeah,
he's going to be. They're a wreck. As far as someone like Greg Roman, Greg Roman's system is at its best when you have a mobile quarterback, and we have a mobile quarterback, but not the type that he likes to use a lot of option and zone read. I don't think that's exactly what we need here.
Yeah,
and he shouldn't be because of the injuries anymore.
Yeah, and
you don't want him to.
It works for some quarterbacks. I mean, like he got the best out of like guys like Tyrod Taylor, Colin Kaepernick, and so that works for guys like them. But not Wentz is not just a mobile quarterback. Like he's an actual passer. So I don't think that system would really accentuate his strengths as much. But the one guy, we'll talk about this offseason. If you're gonna let Mike go. The one guy that I have my eyes on that I would like to see is Jay Gruden. Like you're talking about an offensive mind who's not suited to be a head coach. Like I don't think he's suited to be a head coach at all. But in terms of just an offensive system, I think he has a really good offensive mind. I think scheme wise he had a big reason why the Redskins were good for or at least solid for that stretch for certain stretches were because he is a good offensive mind. So I would look into bringing Jay Gruden as an offensive coordinator if you're gonna fire Mike Groh. That's personally me. I mean, there are probably some other guys too. I mean, I'd be open for Deuce Staley. I said that before Mike Groh got the promotion, but I've been a Deuce Staley guy for a while. I have nothing to back up or evidence to back up supporting my claim that Deuce would be a good offensive coordinator. I just have been a supporter of him since he was on the staff. He's been here for a long time, so I think I got a shot.
A lot of guys that take that role, look at Deuce Staley, that were players not always great, but at least decent. Whereas on the sidelines and work your way up through the ranks like that usually do turn out pretty well in the first place. Plus, you got Doug Peterson, which is doing a lot of offensive calls anyway with what he likes. So I don't think it would be a bad fit there.
Yeah. All right. So, do we have action here? So, any other thoughts? Oh, hey, Lena. The Queen is here. So, transitioning to the Bears game, how confident, or how, on a scale of 1 to, hey, there's
There
the
he
king.
is.
Oh, there she is.
There's the king.
King of bullshit.
What's up, big guy? So, it was an ugly game.
Just hearing you yelling and screaming, baby. I love it.
Yeah.
I freaking love it.
It was ugly. It wasn't pretty at all. But a win is a win. Satisfied. The Eagles did what they needed to do. They need to, after the horrible 2-game skid, they won 2 straight to go into the bye. They're at 5-4. That game against the Bears, there are some things that I saw that leave me hopeful, and some things that still leave me in doubt.
See,
Go ahead.
my thing is that what people forget is, like you just said, obviously there was a lot of good things that came of the game that, re-sparked the offense and defensive side of the balls as far as some potential good games and good pieces stepping up into place. Obviously some holes to fill and some spots that we have to get better at because it, not being a great game, but it was a win. People have to stop saying that,
Did you just say we?
Yes, it
Said
happens.
It's coming.
No, you threw me
It's
off here.
slowly but surely.
Slowly coming over.
People got to remember it was a win. You only have 16 games, so any way you can get a win, you take it.
Yeah.
Whether it's off a slide, whether you're the Seahawks and go to overtime against the Buccaneers, who
Yeah.
are supposed to be one of the worst teams in the league.
Win
It's
is
a win.
Yeah.
You take it, and you move on, and you get better at the pieces that you made it that close of a game.
Yeah.
But for all the fans that are out there saying, "Oh, this team is trash. It should have been a blowout," or they don't deserve the win, or this piece and that piece was bad. It was a win. Get over it. Move on. You have a bye week. Get over your loss next week. Go into the next team, and get your way to the playoffs here. But you have to take it with a grain of salt.
By the way, the Bears defense is, they're pretty good. That's
Well,
another
they
thing.
haven't
They're pretty
been,
good.
Yeah, but they haven't been the same as last year.
Yeah.
And that's the argument I've been making. Looking at before the Eagles game, they haven't been the
Yeah,
same.
but can you
They
put
didn't
that
bring
on
any
the
other pieces.
defense, or can you put it on the quarterback situation
it's
with
part of
Chase
both.
Daniels and Mitchell Trubisky?
It's part of
Because
both.
Mitchell has been terrible.
Oh no,
this year.
he's not getting
Terrible.
anything from
And
the,
don't
the
forget,
offense.
don't forget they lost a game in Denver where they should have won.
Yeah,
And Panera missed another
It's
field
part
goal.
of it. Part of it is absolutely on the. It's like the Jaguars thing. Like the year after in 2018, that defense didn't get any help from Blake Bortles.
no.
So they put him in bad spots. So
Yep.
that's absolutely part of it. But then it's still also part of them losing Vic Fangio, which I've been saying since the offseason. I said not having Vic Fangio there is going to make this defense slide a little bit. There's still going to be a good defense, a really good defense, but they ain't going to be the same. They ain't going to be what they were last year. And that's proven what's right. Their scheme is different. They're relying a lot on man coverage. Man. So like with Vic Fangio, it was different. Like their schemes, what they're doing under Pagano is a lot different, and they're asking a lot more of their secondary than Fangio did.
Yeah.
So there's adjustments that are made there, and it's just different. This is why they're not as good. Like if we had played the Bears defense from last year, it would have been a totally different game. I honestly believe that. There's miscommunications at the second level throughout the game, and this is how it is. But you're absolutely right. A win isn't a win. You can't complain about that. And that goes to my point that I made a few weeks ago after the Cowboys loss, is that I still think there's hope because this league is a week-to-week league. Like you don't know how your team is going to look weeks from now. So that's why I said the Eagles absolutely can still win the division. And I said that after the Cowboys loss, and I still believe that they still can win the division because these problems are fixable. And when I said that, ever since I said that 2 weeks now, I've seen some things that have been encouraging. I like what I've seen from the play calling, play design. I feel like they're starting to realize what their strengths and weaknesses are. They know that they're deficient of speed on the outside at wide receiver. So what do they start doing? They start focusing on running the ball well. And it's not just about running the ball more. It's about running the ball well. Running the ball right. Yes, exactly. Running it the right way. But also, they're emphasizing their short game and maximizing 12 personnel with quick, short passes and with misdirection. Like, past 2 weeks against the Bills and the Bears, misdirection has been a huge part of them being able to pick up huge downs. And me seeing that type of play calling, it's kind of reminiscent. It's starting to be reminiscent of how it was in 2017 with Frank Reich. I'm not saying Groh is out of the doghouse. Not saying Groh is now good and he's the next Reich. No. I'm saying that Doug Peterson is starting to call better plays and knows what this offense's strengths and deficiencies are. And the play calling has been smarter, been more creative, and I like that. I also like what I'm seeing from Mills, from Darby, and getting Maddox back. You know, I was laughing at the fact that people, ever since he's been out, people have been blasting Maddox because of his bad game against the Packers. But conveniently, they forget how good he's been since late last year and early this year. Like, they forget that. They just, it's more about, oh, what have you done for me lately? And I've seen people say he's worse than Sidney Jones. I've seen people say that he's garbage. Like, they don't know. Maddox is a good corner, one of our better corners, and I'm glad he's back in the slot. He made several great plays against the Bears. But I like what I've seen from Mills, Darby, and Maddox in the fact that they're not great, but they're stable enough. You know what I mean? Like you know what you're getting with them, but at the same time they're comfortable. Mills is a confident guy. He always has been. So he's never going to be deficient of any confidence. Darby he finally looks like he has his speed back. He finally looks like he's healthy. So he has that speed and athleticism. And then Maddox is Maddox. I like what I've seen from them. I like what I've seen from Miles Sanders, man. He is getting better and better. Like the last 2 weeks, oh my God. Like he's starting to settle down and starting to make better choices. His vision is a lot better.
Yeah, he's not hopscotch.
He's not hopscotch. Like he's under control now.
Yeah.
A lot better. And of course, Ertz and Goddard. Like, so those are encouraging signs. Fletcher Cox is starting to be Fletcher Cox.
Yeah,
he's starting to play a lot better. Josh Sweat is progressing very nicely. You know, you guys know I'm high on him, and he's progressing very nicely each week, improving. We even saw Jannard Avery sighting. Our new pass rusher. He made a good play. And so, like, you know, even Barnett's been solid. I've seen the pass rush and defensive line step it up. So there are signs of encouragement. What I still don't like is the play. There are still too many coverage breakdowns in the secondary, from including our safety, and obviously the wide receivers. Like there's still like a big iffy. So like those things still need to be fixed. I think the secondary can be fixed. I think the wide receiver group, it's up in the air, but something's got to be done. They've got to really, Like that long pass to Gabriel, I thought it was Jenkins' fault. A lot of people overreacted and thought it was Mills' fault to get beat on a double move. It wasn't Mills' fault at all. Mills was like saving the touchdown. That was actually Darby's fault. It wasn't cover 3. It looked like cover 3 to me at first, but it was actually inverted cover 2 where the cornerbacks have to play deep half responsibilities and the safeties crash down, and that's why Jenkins was crashing down. It looks like he was playing robber, but with the crosser by Gabriel, he's crossing the field. Darby has to key on that and know he has deep responsibility. Darby was playing 2 up, and then he was supposed to pick up Gabriel, but on the crosser, Gabriel was coming up. Darby didn't pick him up, and that's what led to the deep pass, like deep completion. So that stuff like that, breakdowns like that, they need to be cleaned up.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there are encouraging signs, but things have to, in order for them to steal a game, either against the Patriots or the Seahawks, they have to clean that up. It has to be better.
So yeah, I think it's a perfect storm. I think that you're right there and close enough in the division to where you want to be. Not necessarily where you want to be, but where you have to be in order to get away with the division. And I'm part of the minority that thinks that a loss isn't always necessarily a bad thing. I think that coming out of the bye, I think that the Eagles do lose to the Patriots, not just being as a Patriots fan, but playing a pissed off Tom Brady is not something you want to do.
They don't lose 2 in a row.
Yeah, they have in 19 season never lost 2 games in a row. They rarely, I think in 19 seasons, they've only lost once off of a bye, and that was to a red-hot Kansas City on a Monday night. But the issue becomes now, it's like, okay, what do I do coming out of the Patriots, who play similar as far as matchup goes as the Seahawks, which becomes a must-win, especially being in an NFC matchup there. I think that can be pulled off easily, being that you have a mindset in Doug Peterson to make those changes. If you make them and you roll out of there, learning what you got to do, you can get real hot at the end of the season and roll through the playoffs, which I think is very reminiscent of the Super Bowl year. So I think it can be done again.
Yeah.
So I got a stat for you.
Go
I know
ahead.
we all love stats.
Yeah.
So this is Jordan Matthews stats with the Eagles. This is Jordan Matthews and Nelson Aguilar compared. So Jordan Matthews stats with the Eagles, 246 reception yards, 3,000 yards, and 22 touchdowns. Nelson Aguilar stats with the Eagles has 236 receiving yards, 2,639 yards, 8 touchdowns. Nelson Aguilar, key thing here, has played 12 more games with the Eagles than Jordan Matthews.
Yeah. I'm assuming you meant receptions and not receiving yards. For the first
receptions.
set.
Yeah, receptions.
Yet they don't want to come here and play for Wentz
Yeah.
or in Philly in general.
I mean, like, I think Matthews has been more stable throughout his career. Like, he's just, like, people forget. Like, he's a volume guy. That's why he got a lot of receptions. But, like, he was never horrible. And even though, like, he had a lot of drop passes, like, he was, like, a safe floor kind of guy. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he was a volume guy, but, like, he never had a down game where, like, he was just like, oh, he's pitiful. Like, you've seen Aguilar have those games where he's just, like, it's hard. Like,
Well, Aguilar just disappears.
He disappears. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Like, you
Well,
don't
he's
even
a
know
splash play.
sometimes
Yeah.
he's even on the field.
He's a splash play guy.
Exactly. Yeah, that's my point. Yeah, that's a good way of saying it. So, that's the thing. I think we all agree that Aguilar is the more explosive guy, and when he's on his game, he's absolutely better than Matthews, and we've seen that like in 2017 and at times like since then. But Matthews is just like the solid, like, you know what you're getting, and
Yeah.
it is what it is. So I welcome Matthews back to the chat because I know we've had a bunch of other comments. Let's see. We keep bringing Ivan Loy. Did I say this one yet? We keep bringing guys back that the front office feels comfortable with. Not so much with guys that are more talented. Not a fan of Jay Matthews. You don't have to be a fan of Jay Matthews. We're just asking you to be okay with replacing Mac Hollins. That's all. That's what it is.
And filling DeSean's spot
Yes.
as far as.
I hope you are ready to take Matt Collins off the field.
Yeah.
I just don't understand the people that can sit here and stick up for Matt Collins.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't
Like,
understand.
what has he done for you to
I
say?
don't know. There are people
oh, you
that
can't
still
take
do it.
Mac off the field. He's doing so well. There's nothing there.
There's nothing there.
There's nothing there for
Run
you
blocking.
to even stick up for.
They
him.
love his run blocking. Like,
Nice.
I don't get it. I don't get it either.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me that there are
Well,
still
he
people
got
online.
the funny thing is that you said the run blocking.
But he got a
the
penalty for
Miles
holding.
Sanders, the 20-yard run that Miles Sanders had
Yeah,
late in the game, he
was
got
holding.
called back because he
'Cause
got
he was
called
holding.
with holding.
exactly.
Not only
My
that,
point.
Yeah.
not only that, what you get with him in run blocking, got the same thing in both Ertz and Goddard.
Yeah.
Put
Yeah.
them both on the field, the same thing.
Pete Evans says, "I hope they do, fam." And he says, "Chucks, what is Jollibee in North Jersey?" All right, so quick thing. Jollibee is like the McDonald's of the Philippines, but it's better. It's like they specialize in chicken, fried chicken, but they're like as popular as McDonald's in the Philippines. Their chicken is really good, but what I like, and it might be different, and you guys, some of you like Italians might think this is blasphemous, but they serve Filipino spaghetti. If you don't know what Filipino spaghetti consists of, it's not that I know what it consists of, but the difference with Filipino spaghetti is that one, it has hot dogs in it, or like little sausages,
Uh-huh.
but two, it's sweet.
Oh, okay.
We put sugar in our thing to make it sweet. So it's different from your traditional Italian spaghetti, but I love the spaghetti. That's usually what I get. I just get the spaghetti, but it's very popular in the Philippines. They have a location up in Jersey City. I think they're having another one soon somewhere up in North Jersey. But Pete, that's what Jollibee is. It's the Filipino blend of
McDonald's.
KFC and McDonald's. Yeah.
That's
All right.
amazing.
Tom says sorry to walk through. It's all right. Wins are wins in this league. Spot on, boys. And then he says, "Agreed, Chucks. They trust each other out there." Mike Klinkoff says, "What's up, fellas?" Ivan Loy says, "Going pass on 3rd and 1 is great play calling." And okay, I think I know what he's bringing up. There was one play, and I definitely want to address this because I have a video up on my Twitter where I break it down. Do you guys remember early second quarter? It's 3rd and 2, and we throw that screen pass to Sanders on the left side. That got
Yeah, and
tackled for
Ertz,
loss.
doesn't block.
Yes,
Yeah.
I like.
You
He-
threw a
he
wide
forgot.
receiver
I-
screen to a guy who doesn't block in general.
Well, here's the thing.
Awesome.
I like, but the thing is here, I broke it down. I don't care if I'm even in the minority. I understand like if you want to have different personnel there, but to me, if Ertz picks up that block, it's a touchdown.
Yeah.
It's absolutely a touchdown, and like you can argue, okay, like you want to have a blocker out there, but Ertz demands attention as a receiver. That's why he's out there. He's out detached from the formation because of his skills and his route running as a receiver. Goddard, not so much. You have someone who's more so, in line with the formation, or they even had him as a full lineup as a fullback on some reps.
You have to disguise it somehow.
You have to disguise it somehow. Like there are not a lot of snaps or reps out there where Goddard's out wide in the slot. So you have to disguise it, like you said. So you have to make it believable that this is not a screen. So having Ertz out there makes you believe, okay, it's still a pass play. Ertz is going to run a route. On the play, you have Miles Sanders motioning in, just like they do a lot. The Saints did this a lot before, or the Falcons did, and now Eagles are doing it. A lot of offenses are doing it where, good, Flyers scored. A lot of offenses are doing it where they have the running back start off out wide and they motion them back into the backfield. So they do that, but then to try to get the Bears off guard, catch them off guard, they snap it real quick in the middle of his motion and throw that shield screen. And there is nothing but room in front of him, in front of Sanders and Ertz, because I think it was Clinton Dix. He was matched up against Ertz, but he backs off at the last second. And then because of that, Ertz has room to execute that block. Sanders comes in. If he just gets a piece of a Mukamura, Sanders is free, and there is no way Roquan Smith is catching Sanders on the edge to the end zone. There's no way. He's flat-footed. There's no way. That is a touchdown if you just have one block. So I don't mind that play call there. I don't mind it. And also on the first possession where we kicked the field goal, if I remember correctly, that's a play where Wentz got sacked. He had a wide open Ertz. So again, the play call worked. It was just bad execution because Wentz hesitated on throwing it on I think it was a trail route to Ertz in the middle because I think he saw Clinton Dix or someone, and he didn't want it to be an interception. So I think he hesitated, and then that's what caused the sack. So you can argue play call, but I think in both those instances the right play call was drawn up. The execution just wasn't there.
Not only that, that screen is something that, as far as the setup goes, is something that a lot of teams are doing now, where they'll have somebody. The Patriots do it with Edelman, only because with their vast running back core, you kind of know what to expect out of them. So they motion Edelman in. It's not necessarily to set up a screenplay. That may have been an option play where they brought him in just to see what the coverage was, and knowing that okay, if you move him in, where's the defense moved to, and you realize okay, they're not blitzing. They backed up. It's going to be a zone, so it's going to be open. If I catch that block, then they're gone.
Yeah.
Whereas if somebody moves and is trailing Sanders on that play, that could be an out to Ertz. Hence why you don't have Goddard in there. No one's going to buy that. Exactly. Your defense is going to switch over and drop out of coverage if you do it. So people have to remember what the screen actually does for the play call. It's not necessarily always designed to go that way unless they get the right read. So you have to have the personnel out there to not go that way if you get the opposite read on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, I completely agree. So, people want to, this is the thing about reactionary fans, especially in Philly. And I'm looking at you too, Ralphie, because you do it a lot, especially on Twitter.
Absolutely.
You overreact is when
it's in the heat of the moment. I just gotta let it out.
When a play doesn't work, they automatically assume it's a bad play call. They don't. They fail to see a lack of execution sometimes. So that's the difference. Like you have to look at what would happen if the play was executed properly. That's how I kind of determine like, okay, was this the right call? And so, you can argue about who's out there and everything, but to me, the play calling was great, and the players just have to execute. And not every team is perfect. Even the Patriots, they fail to execute sometimes, and you're not going to be perfect on every play.
Sometimes we fumble the ball and give it up for a touchdown, too.
Exactly. See what happens? So not every team is perfect.
Not very often, though.
Not very often.
Often enough.
There are failures of execution for every team. You just gotta kind of live with it. But play calling to me was good. Prove me wrong or prove me otherwise. I dare you. That's how I see it. All right, so we good. Are we going into break? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So guys, thank you for tuning in for the first half. Do not go anywhere. We have a lot still to cover. We're going to cover Week 9 from around the league. A lot of good games this weekend, including the Ravens and Patriots game, which we will definitely get to. And we will also give out mid-season grades and awards. We'll see who we have as MVP, Rookies of the Year, stuff like that. Don't go anywhere. We'll be doing that in the second half. So the first half, again, guys, brought to you by our doc, Paul Vidal of Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, specializedphysicaltherapy.com, and by ATS Sports Picks, atsports.com. We'll be back in a few minutes. Please do not go anywhere. I want to see all of you back here for the second half. Got a lot to talk to you about talk about still. So we want your input. Do not go anywhere. Give us like 5-10 minutes. I promise. We'll be right back. All right. We'll see you in a bit.
Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes. Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
All right, guys. Birds of a Feather back here on A2D Radio, live from the Real Talk Studios. First half was brought to you by our doc, Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC. Find them in Burlington, Cherry Hill, and Princeton, New Jersey. SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com. We've got myself, Chucks, and the Crumb over there on the ones and twos still. The poll question was brought to you by ATS Sports Picks, ATSSportsPicks.com. Use promo code A2D Radio and get 20% off. Back with our second half awards, or first half, I should say, awards to kick off the first half.
Yeah, I mean, do you want to get into week 9 first, and then we'll get into awards grades?
Yeah, you know,
So
it's going to lean itself
There you go.
pretty much hand
I'd
in
say,
hand there.
Ralphie, I think you did a good job. That was a good
Yeah, it
job.
was good.
Yeah, see.
Hell yeah, Kev.
Yeah. Take
Let's
your time.
go, baby.
A lot better than what me and Chrome were when we first started. I tell you that. So
See, the difference is I know how to read.
yeah, exactly. That's exactly the difference. I'm only good at math. Okay. So you tell me to read. That's outside the question, man.
Start to sweat.
A little too much pressure there. But all right. So week 9. Let's go. Let's revisit. If you guys again tuning in, if you have recap or reactions from the Eagles-Bears game, feel free to talk about that. We'll continue to talk about it. We'll talk about the poll question, which is the Eagles will make a change at wide receiver in addition to what they're bringing in Jordan Matthews. If you agree, disagree, tell us names if you want to. All of that, definitely keep chiming in. We'll read your comments and go forward there. But YouTube there were a couple other YouTube comments in the first half. I know that let's see. I already read Bryce's. Oh, Jalen Williams says, "What about Mike Floyd as an option?" I think Mike Floyd's done.
Yeah,
man.
I think that dude's
long
Yeah,
done.
he's-
Long done.
because he got cut from the Pats and then just
Yeah,
totally
it's just yeah.
disappeared.
I was never a big Michael Floyd fan. He's been long gone or long done. But yeah, that's out of the question. That's not one of the names that you'd be looking at. But
Ocho Cinco said he'd come play for free. Just
I'll
give
take
him
Ocho Cinco.
McDonald's
I'll
before the
take
game.
Ocho I'll take Ocho Cinco any day.
Yeah, me
I
too.
love Ocho. He was so freaking
Hey,
good.
T.O.
Bring both of them back.
They're best friends.
At this
Yeah.
point, yeah, that's right. Bring both of them back. At this point, I don't really care. So week 9, Pats Ravens, the big game from this weekend, or one of them. There were a few really good games, but I kind of saw this. I did see this coming. I believe I told you 2 weeks ago we were talking about how the Pats are going to struggle with the Ravens, and not only that they have had history struggling with mobile quarterbacks, but the Ravens' run defense is legitimate. Run offense is legitimate, and you can feel however way you want about Lamar Jackson. It doesn't change the fact that he has become a legitimate dual threat. Like, he doesn't have to be the greatest passer in the world. He just has to be good enough as a passer to pose as a dual threat, and that's what he is. Like, he is the next Michael Vick in terms of running the ball. There's no one more athletic or faster than him right now at the quarterback position, or maybe even like, there may not be many skill position players that are as athletic as him.
I'm going to go on a limb and say he may be better than Vic because of his smarts with the ball. Is when Vic would run the ball, obviously you saw in Philly where he was a little bit careless with the ball. He didn't always commit 100% one way or the other. He always kind of let it out, last decision to do one or the other. But with Lamar Jackson, obviously he's not the greatest passer. He obviously learning that more this season than last.
He's good enough. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
But he's good.
yeah.
He's good enough. The Patriots right now, I believe, are still up there, top one or two defenses. As you saw, they couldn't pass on us, but he is so smart with the RPO running the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lose-lose. There was plays where the defensive line is literally, no matter what they do,
They're gonna lose. Yeah.
either you got Mark Ingram, who's a big body, goes to one side of the ball, you commit that way, and Lamar Jackson's way too fast and beats you around the outside. I mean, it's just I don't know how you stop it. Obviously, neither does the probably greatest mind in the game, Bill Belichick. They didn't start to figure anything out till the end of the game there, so it's gonna be interesting seeing them make a run.
Yeah. No, I understand. And like, the Ravens, I think that with Lamar Jackson, I know there are a lot of people that were not huge believers, to say the least, in Lamar going back to last year. I had him lower on my draft board and compared to the other quarterbacks, but that's only because he had a lot to work on as a passer. I also said that out of any quarterback, he probably has the highest ceiling because his skill set and his physical ability, if he finally does bring it all together, he's got more potential than anyone. And I believe that, and you're starting to see him develop. Like, he doesn't, as I said, he doesn't have to be the best passer. He just has to be good enough where he poses as a dual threat, and that's what makes him dangerous against defenses, is that they have to still honor him as a passer. And when you're back there and you're not keying on his running ability all the time, and you have to honor what he can do through the air, it puts you in a, like you said, a lose-lose a lot of times, where say he does pull it, and he doesn't hand it off to a running back. Well, now you have to contest with, okay, is he going to run or is he going to pass? It's not just about stopping as a runner anymore. So that's an added dimension that's a dimension he's added. I don't think we've talked about Lamar a lot this year on the show, but I've been thoroughly impressed with his development. I think he's going to continue to get better, and he's ahead of the curve in terms of what I expected him to be. And I think that, he wouldn't be the front runner, but I think if you're giving me 5 candidates for MVP, he's probably around that, in that discussion.
And for me, the biggest issue was you look at the Patriots coming into the game and you say, okay, what is that defense doing well that's puts them up there in the rankings? Okay, so they're blitzing 47% of the time. That leads all of football, which means you're balanced. You're making teams not be able to run because you're filling the box up, and then you're dropping out and forcing them to pass, and you're leading the league in interceptions. So you go and try to do that to the Ravens and Lamar Jackson, everything's outside. So they're stacking the box, you're dumping everybody up the middle, and then everything outside for a quarterback in a quarterback run scheme is working. And unfortunately, I don't think that you can stop that, because even when they did drop back, okay, now the middle of the field's open. So now everything, your little dink and dunks there, everything, the 5-yard range is there. It's just tough to do. tough to stop and tough to game plan for because nobody else is playing that way to look at game film on and say, okay, we have enough of this to know situationally how to stop it. And for me, as far as the Ravens goes as a team, is they're probably one of the more underrated teams, but I think that's more because their division is one of the most overrated, having the Steelers and the Browns obviously not doing anything.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Ralphie, any thoughts on that game?
That Ravens defense, man, is legit, bro. That's a great defense over there in Baltimore. Like you were saying with the Lamar Jackson factor, with the him becoming the dual threat quarterback that he was at Louisville too. I just don't know how you're gonna stop him. Like we were talking about pre-show with the read option. It's like pick your poison. You know what I mean? It's almost like, okay, if you go after Mark Ingram, Lamar has that instinct to take that ball out of Mark Ingram's stomach and run for a first down and many more yards to go. And that was a lot of questions coming out of college with Lamar Jackson. Can he throw the football? Can he be a quarterback in this league? And it's speaking for himself. I think he can. But I'm not going there with Michael Vick, Kevin. Not going there saying he's better than Michael Vick.
Not just yet.
Michael Vick had a better arm.
Michael
Way
Michael
better
Vick had an all-time arm.
I didn't see Lamar Jackson drop the ball on the 1 yard line. So
Oh Jesus!
Oh God.
just saying.
No, Mike Vick.
I know it's a weak spot.
I think we also forget that, like, I'll put it this way: when Mike Vick was at the height of his game,
Unstoppable.
oh man, he's
Unstoppable.
It's so hard to stop him, man. Remember the 2010 season with us?
Yes.
That was the best I've ever seen him, and that was probably one of the best performances from a quarterback in a season I've ever seen, ever.
He was almost MVP, dude.
Yeah, he was. I
He
think
was almost MVP.
Yeah, I was MVP. It was him and Peyton. And I mean, like, losing to Peyton is no short order. Like,
Yeah.
Peyton Manning. So, like, Michael Vick that season, and I get it. It was only one season, and part of Vick's issues through his career was consistency. So I completely get it. I'm just saying, like, when he was at the top of his game, man, there was hardly anyone I've ever seen play the quarterback position that was better than peak Michael Vick.
Yeah.
And I believe because like in 2010 he was, and not to get too much on a tangent, but 2010 Michael Vick, he wasn't just running, he was making incredible plays as a passer. Like you remember the Monday Night Massacre? Those weren't just Michael
the very
Vick
first
running
play.
it. He was throwing it downfield with accuracy. He was like that one. I remember one touchdown late in the game. He was in the pocket for a good 5 to 10 seconds, just standing in the pocket, buying time. He didn't tuck the ball and run. He waited and waited and waited and waited until someone was open. And I think he hit Jason Avant in the back of the end zone.
In the back of the end zone.
Yeah,
Yep.
like that you're talking about the ultimate dual threat quarterback where he will outrun anyone, but also a great pocket passer where he will beat you from the pocket. Like that 2010 Mike Vick was
And you know
unbelievable.
what? I'm also going to say this about Cam Newton too, and I'm thinking like as an organizational standpoint, where I guess Carolina was hoping that Cam could turn into what Michael Vick was, like you were saying in 2010, where he wasn't so okay. If my first option isn't there, I gotta run. Panic and run.
Yeah.
Where, like you were saying with the Michael Vick situation, where Michael Vick in 2010, he was actually looking through every single read
Progression, yeah.
before he took off.
Before you took off, yeah.
And that's the thing
Pass
about
first,
and
yeah.
that's the thing about Cam Newton, where Cam Newton, as soon as he got into the league, he was okay. First option's there. I gotta go. I gotta run. And he's been like that throughout his whole entire career, and I think that's one of the reasons why the Panthers said, you know what, man, we're getting more out of Kyle Allen than you are right now, and I know you've been banged up. Just take the IR. We're going to ride out Kyle Allen because Kyle Allen's looking pretty nice, dude.
He's looking
looking
fine.
nice. And he's a game manager.
Yeah.
He's a game manager.
He's fine. Like I think with Cam Newton, and I've been saying this ever since I was brought on A2D, even before that. Like I really didn't see him lasting very long if he didn't progress as a passer. And this is exactly why, because he's not like a Mike Vick or Lamar Jackson. He's not like, his running style is based on, he's fast, but it's more so based on a power running style.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't avoid. He's not
He doesn't
eluding
avoid- yeah.
tacklers.
I don't know about
He's
that. 'cause
running through. No, I'm not saying he's slow. Don't get me
No,
wrong.
I'm not saying that because I'm saying that from experience, he gashed the Patriots twice on a 50 yards running for a 3-yard gain, just running.
No, I
laterally.
know what you're playing.
He can do it.
What? No, I'm not saying that he can't. He has speed and he has elusiveness. But what I'm saying is,
He's not
a
smart.
lot
with
of the runs. Do you remember what he would do his MVP season? He is literally bowling through defenders. He's
Yeah.
like power run. When's the last time you saw like guys like Mike Vick and Lamar Jackson even here, where they're constantly doing those types of runs
Yeah.
that Cam is. And Cam is like, he's not, and Russell Wilson,
He's
smart.
built like a linebacker.
He's built like a linebacker. He's using his, and again, he's big and he's fast. So you want to be able to power through.
And then
but
also-
the thing
yeah.
is, when you're the quarterback, like even the power running backs of the great power running backs in NFL history, they don't last long because they wear
Yeah.
down. And
Because
what
over
do you
time,
expect?
your body's like,
Your body's
I can't take this anymore.
Exactly. Like, I don't care how big you are, you're still
Yeah.
taking punishment. And so I never believed that Cam Newton was going to last in this league a long time unless he altered his game. And we're starting to see the first signs of him breaking down because now he gets hurt and he's out for the rest of the season.
Yeah, he's never healthy.
He's not going to be healthy. So now from here on, like, no matter what the Panthers decide to do, if they decide to move on from him or not, this is a crossroads for Cam Newton. Like, he's going to have to show that he can be a different type of quarterback. And I don't want to take out his running game because that's part of what makes him so great. What I'm saying is you've got to now start to be a better passer, a more consistent passer, and a smarter runner. I don't care how big you are. You've got the running talent. You're athletic as hell. But you got to start running smarter.
And just like in 2010 with Michael Vick, I'm going to continue. He picked his spots when to run.
Yeah.
He picked them. He was a pass-first quarterback when he got here in Philly, and he was a second. And he was an option quarterback second.
Yeah.
He picked his spots when to get out of the pocket and run for first downs.
Yeah.
I mean, look at what Russell Wilson's doing now. I mean, when he came in, at first he was a skitsy first option run type guy.
Yeah.
Because of his size, he's like, no one is as big as me on the outside, and I can take it. But now, if you look, he had 350 yards, 4 or 5 touchdowns, and learn how to pass the ball and use that his run as your fifth option when no one else is there, just to elude a sack versus a guy like Brady who can't run, so he takes all the intentional groundings.
Yeah, you can, yeah. No, and Russell Wilson is a perfect example of a guy who could run and be elusive and make something happen with his feet, married with an elite passer. Like, we'll get into this later, but he's part of the MVP conversation for a reason.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson is absolutely elite, and he's doing it from the pocket. He's not just running.
He's tearing it up, man.
He's tearing it up. It's
Every
so great.
week.
Every
week.
And so, like, I mean, we'll use that to transition to the next game. But, like, Seattle, they got into some trouble with the Buccaneers. I mean, Buccaneers have been giving, like, that's a well-coached team. That's why they're able to, I mean, you have Jameis Winston, but that's why they've been able to surprise some teams this year.
Yeah.
I mean, they beat the Rams. They beat the Panthers on Thursday night.
They beat the Rams in L.A.
In LA.
Yeah.
So like they're no pushover because they're well coached. The Seahawks had a scare with them, but like in the end, you have Russell Wilson just making plays. I mean, I know Adam Lefko. I was listening to his podcast, and I'm gonna have to agree because I think about it. Well, I mean, there's one other pair, but I'll say their names. But he said that Russell Wilson and Tyler Lockett are the best passing duo in the league today. And it's hard. You think about it, I don't know if I would pick anyone else. The only ones I would pick over them, but they haven't been healthy all year, is Mahomes and Tyreek Hill. Those are the other two. Those are the only two
You
that
know,
I'd pick over them.
and another two people I would pick would be Rodgers and Devontae Adams. Because when they're on together, dude,
Yeah.
have fun trying to
They're
stop
great
them
too.
when they're clicking, bro.
Oh yeah, when they're clicking, they
they're
haven't.
cl-
But again, same thing with Hill and Mahomes. Like
Yeah.
they've been hurt, at different points. I know Hill had the suspension and everything, and then so like Adams has been hurt for a few weeks, and even before that they weren't clicking as well as they have been before so far. But I mean, I get what you're saying. Like that's another good duo. I mean, you have Drew
Yeah.
Brees and Michael Thomas. That's
Yeah.
another great duo.
To me, that's number one when they're healthy. I mean, just off of pure numbers. I mean, granted, you've got a different receiver, Michael Thomas, than the rest of the guys in the conversation.
Yeah, he's a
right?
bigger
Well, bigger, speedier guy. Where when you have somebody as accurate as Breeze, and the reason why he puts up the yardage he does is it's I've got my tight ends covered, Kamara's covered, 50-yard bomb.
Yeah.
Like their safety valve is a deep pass.
Yeah.
No other team is set up that way. But again, based on if you're looking at stat wise, the right now the lead duo is actually Godwin and
Winston.
and Winston.
Well, stat wise, that's why I don't put much on stats. But I mean, I do love Goodwin. Though.
But they're on though.
Godwin.
I mean,
Godwin.
you don't get the yards and the completions unless you're on with your quarterback. I mean, granted, there's not much else there. I mean, you have to game plan to your best strength because they don't use their tight ends like they should be,
And they have to pass a lot.
and they have to pass
They
a lot.
have to pass a lot.
But if you only have one option as far as a game plan, you're not an Eagles team where you have receiver options, although not great. They're good enough to get it done, and you can run the ball. When you only have one side of the field to go to, and to be able to beat teams with just one option, knowing where they know where you have to go, that says a lot by your team.
No, I hear you. I hear that, and I love Godwin. I liked him since his rookie year. Like he's Penn State. He's a Penn State guy. I'm not a Penn State fan. I'm actually a Rutgers fan. So, if anything, I should hate Penn State players. But I don't. I'm not big enough in college football to really hate certain college players. But I'm just pointing out that he's a Penn State guy. So I know a lot of people, a lot of fans, gravitate toward because they're kind of like a local team. But I've loved Godwin's game since his rookie year. He's on the up and up, man. He's only going to continue to get better. He's one of the better ones. I think that I would still, all in all, at full health, if you're talking about everyone fully healthy, to me it's Mahomes and Tyreek Hill. I mean, Tyreek Hill, we'll go into another one. Like, did you guys see, please tell me you guys saw the Damian Williams touchdown, the 90-something long touchdown, where you see Tyreek Hill freaking bolt and catch up to Williams.
He was patting him on the back.
Pat him on the back. Like, there is no one faster than Tyreek Hill right now. There's, and you cannot, he's a scumbag. We agree. Okay, so I don't respect the guy as a person, but if we're talking strictly football, I cannot name 5 wide receivers better than Tyreek Hill. Like, I really can't. To me, and we'll get into this again in the offseason when we do wide receiver rankings, but for the past year and a half, I've had Tyreek Hill as a top 5 wide receiver because you can say, oh, he only has speed. Well, when that speed is better than anyone else on the field and it's literally unstoppable and he can beat everyone at will deep, like what are you gonna do? Like what exactly are you gonna do?
You have a receiver catching a running back, someone that is being paid to be fast by 20 yards. That says something about him.
Once he hit his top gear, like it was like watching literally like a cartoon. Like the running back's going like this, and it's like those Looney Tunes commercials where you see the Roadrunner just catch up to him. Like it was unreal. It's unreal how fast he is. And you say every week, you talk about every week, like when he was healthy and defense is like, oh, we got to stop Tyreek Hill. They say that every week, but Tyreek Hill still catches deep balls. Like, he's that fast. He's unbelievable. Like, there's no doubt in my mind, and I love DeSean Jackson, but there's no doubt in my mind that Tyreek Hill is a better deep threat than DeSean in his prime. I absolutely believe that. DeSean has statistically been one of the best deep threats ever in league history, but Tyreek Hill will absolutely beat him out by the end of his career.
Oh, prime DeSean versus Tyreek right now? I'll take Tyreek Hill.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Easily.
He's insane, like unbelievable speed. Like it's out of this world.
Yeah.
Unlike anything else we've ever seen. But the Chiefs, they won against who were they playing?
Minnesota.
Minnesota, big win with Matt Moore at quarterback. You get another win for the Chiefs with Mahomes out. Is Mahomes going to be back next week? Is that what they're reporting? Like, does he schedule to be back next week, or
Well,
They
had
said
him-
3 weeks with the dislocated knee.
so now it's been 2 games.
Well,
They lost to the Packers in a good game, and they won against the Vikings.
Yeah.
So that's 2.
They had him questionable for this past
For
game,
this game, right.
almost all the way up to game time. So
He's
that,
close.
that leads me to believe that he'll
That
be back.
he'll be back.
And he's
very,
coming
very
off a
soon.
dislocated kneecap.
Yeah.
Like,
It was
modern medicine, man.
to the side. Oh man.
Listen, I dislocated my left knee 3 times. It took me months to get back.
Oh my God. I don't even want to. I don't
It'll be
even want
months.
to know how that feels. I
I-
don't want to know how that feels.
Last week, coming in from the bad rainstorm that we had, I slipped a little bit and pulled a muscle in my ankle, and I couldn't
you
walk
told
for
me that,
3
yeah.
days. Let alone some of these
It's
guys'
crazy.
hair and stuff.
Unbelievable.
It's
Unbelievable.
Crazy.
ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Juiced them up.
Oh God. Dolphins got their first win.
Yesterday against the
The
I'm
Jets.
seeing Ghost Sam
Seeing
Darnold.
Ghost-
we were talking about this pre-show. I don't know. It was me and Ralphie. So Sam Darnold has 9 interceptions in 3 games, but in his post-game press conference, he says, "I'm seeing the field well." I would like to know what field he's seeing. He may be colorblind. I don't know.
He may be color.
everyone's
He
on
may
his
be
team.
colorblind.
Everyone's on his team. He it doesn't matter the jersey. Oh, you're open. Here's the ball.
Yeah.
You're welcome. It's like a charity event. You get a ball. You get a ball.
You get a ball. You get a ball. Man, I and what sucks is that like there are things about the Jets that I really do like a lot. Like I feel like for in some ways they are Flyers win 4-1 by the way. Good third period. They're on track with in some areas, but like others just like, God damn, like what are you doing? So it's unfortunate.
I can't even give them that because they thought about giving up your only offensive piece in Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, I know.
Like, sorry, we
I don't-
tried
I
6
don't
games.
like-
We
I
tried.
don't like Gase. I made that known. I do not like Gase as a coach. So they need to replace him. I still like Darnold. I think he has potential, but behind that O line, you're not going to do much. I mean, we know what Le'Veon Bell is. There are pieces on that defense that I do like. So I don't think they're completely like void of talent. They need a better coach. That's just you need a better coach to start with on a better line.
The Bills pull out another win.
Bills did. They beat the
Washington.
Redskins. Again, they have a cakewalk schedule. They're gonna keep playing these easy teams. That's why, as I said, they're gonna get the wild card, but I don't think they're gonna do much with it.
I mean, I would like to say that, but they kept it close with both the Patriots and the Eagles as far as.
That's a good point.
I mean, people. That's the same conversation people say about the Patriots. Oh, you have the easiest schedule in the league. You always have an easy schedule, but we blow out bad teams and we beat at least good teams. We still hang in there. We prove that we find a way to win. Not this past week, but
The thing about the Bills is that like, I still don't believe in the quarterback. Now, Devin Singletary, the running back, should. I won't say this because I don't know why people keep falling in love with Frank Gore. I have all the respect for Frank Gore, but he's way too slow now.
I mean, he's tried and true. That's why.
He's
I mean,
he's tried and
that's-
true. But when you have this is my issue with him in Miami, and now my issue with him in Buffalo. In Miami, you had, and this is why I hate Gase too. You had Kenyon Drake, and if you want proof that Kenyon Drake is talented, go look at what he did against the Niners.
Yeah.
Okay, stop telling me that Kenyon Drake isn't that good. Kenyon Drake has been good.
What was
Yeah,
the first
very
drive, right?
good.
Just been on a shitty ass team.
Been on a crappy ass team. So you're telling me last year, Adam Gase with the Dolphins, you have Frank Gore, Kenyon Drake, but you're gonna ride Frank Gore over Kenyon Drake. Like that does not make sense to me. Yeah, like Frank Gore. And this is what I have issue with PFF's grading, is because they go by what the play design. Like I know for a fact that they grade running. Part of what they grade running backs is by the way the play design is supposed to be set up. If they follow that play design, they don't put enough emphasis on creating more yards for themselves, or a running back who's be able to do more outside the structure. Like, yeah, Frank Gore is tried and true. He's safe. He's smart. He's not going to make a bad play. But when you have a Kenyon Drake who is literally lightning in a bottle, who can make several plays in the passing game, who is dynamic, who can do so many things, I take that risk. I say, okay, I might get like a negative play here. He might like make a bad decision here. But knowing the upside of what I get from Kenyon Drake, I'm riding him all day. But no, they want to go to Frank Gore. And then now this year, they have Devin Singletary. And I guess he's a rookie, so he has to develop more. But what I'm saying is if they still, yeah, he was hurt for the past few weeks. But if they, after this week, Singletary got 20 carries, right? They better ride with Singletary. Because if they go to Frank Gore and continue to ride him over Singletary, that's wrong. Like, come on, you have an explosive rookie. Go with him. There's a reason why explosive plays, and we all know this, explosive plays are difference-making plays in the league. You need explosive plays. So I don't care for the safeness of Frank Gore as my main back. I want to ride with the guy that gives me a lot of upside. I just do.
And it's almost like the same thing with the with Chicago, and when they have David Montgomery too. I mean, David Montgomery was great in college, and the same, and you know, you have Tyreek Cohen now, and it's like Tyreek Cohen, you know, was supposed to be the main back, and then David Montgomery took over the lead back. So it's iffy there as well. But like you were saying with Dave, I like Singletary. I think he should be the starter.
Yeah, he absolutely should. And
how much more Frank Gore do you need to know that
Yeah,
he's
like-
55 years old and he runs 2
you
miles
could give
per
him
hour?
a few carries,
Yeah.
like in spots. I'm not against that, but
But
not
see-
as your primary.
To your point is, though, you need 4 yards. You got 4 yards.
I get
Every
that.
single
But
play.
that's what I'm
it's like
saying.
you have that consistency there. I mean, he doesn't get 15,000 or 1,500 yards in his career just by being okay. I mean, he's what they use him for is what you get out of him.
But I'm not talking about prime Frank Gore. I'm talking about 2018, 2019.
Well,
Frank Gore.
that's what I'm saying. Even now, he's still putting up that first and third down.
Well,
Okay, here's your couple of yards, and there you don't have a coach or a coach or offense coordinator that's confident enough to reinvent the team itself and say, okay, yeah, I've got Singletary that may run off tackle and may lose a yard or two, but he's also capable of that 20-yarder. They're not confident enough to say, okay, I'll wait and take a play or two to get that big burst play.
Well, then they're scared.
I'm okay with.
They're playing scared, and I don't agree
They
with
are.
it. I don't agree with that. Look what you did when you have Kenyon Drake in Arizona. That Niners defense is not they're one of the better defenses, and Kenyon Drake ran all over them. Kenyon Drake is very good, a very good running back, and I believe Devin Singletary can be a very good running back. I'm someone who if it goes down to just like a safe, like low like you're just gonna get 3 yards a carry. Give me the high risk, high reward guy. Give me the explosive guy. Like I'm tired of these coaches, Adam Gase, like playing. And I'm not trying to trash Sean McDermott. I like Sean McDermott a lot, but he better stick with Singletary from now on. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, even if you look outside of the Bills, if you look at Washington's got a handful of running backs, but who do they keep handing the ball to? Adrian Peterson.
Well, that's because Geis is hurt.
Even when he even when he was in and healthy, even last season, Peterson led that team.
Geis
You
wasn't healthy.
had Thomas, who was at
Well,
times.
I'm talking about
you had
Geis.
Geis at times.
No, Geis
You had-
Geis missed all of last year, bro.
I'm talking about this season
Geis-
included.
this season Geis was only healthy for one game, and for that one game against the Eagles, Peterson was inactive.
I'm talking overall. Overall, when you have other running backs that are there, Geis, Peterson, and Thomas, and whoever else.
Well, Thompson.
Thompson,
Yeah,
whoever
no,
comes
well-
through, you lead with the guy on a team that you have to be just enough, and you don't have explosive
that's
plays,
not a-
you're okay.
That's not a fair comparison because you're comparing Thompson, who is literally just a change of pace back, to Kenyon Drake, who is literally
I'm saying to the Bills, you have two teams that are doing the same thing. Although you have aging players that you should be moving away from to lead the way to guys that have explosiveness and have the ability to, yet you don't because you're okay with just getting by and sticking in these close games.
I guess so. I mean, I get what you're saying. I stop with the Frank Gore nonsense. Is what I'm saying. Like it's getting too much. Even Adrian Peterson right now is still a better running back than Frank Gore. Like Frank Gore is safe, but stop playing it safe. Like I can't stand it. It's someone who as someone who loves the running back position so much, it drives me nuts. It drives me nuts when they're just too conservative and trying to go with Frank Gore and ride with Frank Gore all year. I had a big issue with Adam Gase last year because of that. It was bad. The Packers, a few more games before we get into grades. And we'll do like grades as our no huddle kind of thing. The Packers lose a stinker. They got upset big time to the Chargers. Like I didn't see that coming, but I guess the Chargers have that talent and their defense just stepped up.
See, for me, that's not a upset. That's a
how's that not an upset?
To me, that's what the Chargers should be doing if you have Melvin Gordon playing the way that he is, and Philip Rivers, who is leading the league in passing yards right now with options out there to be doing.
I get what you're saying.
Like, the reason why people are calling it upset is because they have not been what you expect out of the Chargers in the first half of the season.
Yeah.
But this is where you should be if everyone was there game one.
Yeah. No, I hear you. No, that's not a bad point. They have a lot of talent.
Yeah.
And Derwin James should be coming back, I think, in a few weeks. That's going to be a huge addition to the defense.
he's supposed to come back in December.
Yeah.
Late December.
They're
early.
What's their record now? 4 wins?
4 and 5.
4 and 5?
Yes. 4
I mean,
and
if they can stay afloat, they might have a shot at a wild card. And who knows? Maybe they can make noise if they start playing well.
Yeah, I was just looking at the wild card. Let me bring it up real quick. If the season ended today, I think they're right there for the wild card. Let me bring it up.
They're not too far back. Oh, J.J. Nelson, by the way, I was right. 5'11", 161. So he's a smaller guy. Smaller guy.
For some reason, I thought he was a
similar,
little bit bigger.
Yeah, smaller guy, similar to a John Brown. I remember they were both in Arizona, so that's why I knew that comparison. But smaller guy, speedy guy. We'll see if he's on the list. But real quick in the chat before we get back to Ralphie, Deion Brown says, guys, did you see on YouTube the reactions to the Ravens loss? Priceless, LOL. They can be beat. Dog and crew need to take Baltimore's recipe in 2 weeks. They can be beat. The Bills showed that a few weeks ago if it wasn't for a late game pick by Buffalo. Real quick, I don't want to spend too much other time in this because I want to save it for next week when we do preview. But I mean, there goes a lot to beating the Patriots, and it starts, I believe, with your defense. I don't know if we have the defense to contain the Patriots, and that's the thing. That's what's going to be hard. But
now
they
got Edelman to throw to.
They got
Mohamed Sanu now.
I mean,
Here's
back,
the thing: is whatever you do well, expect not to do it.
Not to be able to do it.
And right now, that's containing your running backs. It's Miles Sanders in the pass game. Expect not to be able to get the ball to him and not be able to run the ball up the middle.
We'll save it for next week, but I will say it'll be interesting to see what Bill takes away because you could argue he might take away the tight ends more so than the running backs. But we'll see. It could go. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying right now the strength of the Eagles is their tight ends and their running backs. So it's you could make an argument that either one could be the main focus for Bill.
Yeah,
So
I know we'll get into it obviously more next week, but I think as far as the tight ends concerned, I think we're content on leaving them open only because that's the safer play in the middle of the field versus the gash play, which just beat us in the Ravens in
gotcha.
being
Okay.
able to run on us.
All right, not bad. Tristan Richardson said, "What's up, boys? I might be crazy, but how do you not call about AB for the Eagles? You don't call AB because he's a head case.
And
all right?
you
You
did
don't
call
want
on him, but no one can touch him yet.
You know,
Everything has to be
all
cleared,
the
or else
legal
he's going to
stuff.
get commissioner's list.
Yeah, I'm not touching AB. I have no interest in AB. Foolish Demon says a lot of stuff. He says, Vic was lazy before prison. Vic was amazing. Don't get me wrong, but he didn't put the effort to read a defense early in his career. I wrote a Vic poem in 2010. I forgot how it went. No, but that's right. Before prison time, like he admitted that he was lazy. That's absolutely right. But when he came back and played for Reed, he changed his habits. Yeah.
Prison changes you.
Prison. Yeah. Well, I mean, it literally did. I mean, it's the truth. Like, it changed his life. He says Wilson is a top 3 QB. Bucks are tough. Also, don't forget Lockett and DK putting in work. Watson and Hopkins. That's another good duo, he says.
Yeah.
That's another good duo.
For the duo, real quick, could you say Matt Ryan and Julio Jones?
Not this
I
year.
wouldn't put Matt Ryan up there with these quarterbacks. That's
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
thing.
not this year.
Yeah. He says he doesn't only have speed either. He can go up and get it as well. He's talking about Tyreek, which is absolutely 100% correct. Tyreek has that ability where if he's going for a 50-50 ball, he will go up and get it. He attacks the ball at the high point, and he's only like 5'10", 5'11".
Yeah, he's
but
small.
he plays like he's 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah.
And he's as fast as he's like 5'8",
Jumps
5'9".
higher than Nelson.
It's insane. Yeah. Yeah. God damn. Anthony Latorini says we should give Greg Ward some playing time. Use him in those bubble screens. Let him throw it. Something like that. I mean, I'm open for anything.
Yeah.
You have Ward and I think
Somebody
Mark and
please come in and
Somebody
catch a ball.
please. Somebody please. Any other games that you want to get into before we go to No Huddle? We slightly touched on a good amount from around the league. I don't know if there's any other news you want to get to. I know we talked about Cam being. Oh, no, we have to talk about this real quick. Nick Foles is starting
Yes.
over Minshew now.
Wrong
I think
choice.
here's the thing. I would play Minshew, but the minute I knew this was coming after watching the end of that London game, because Minshew literally just kind of lost a job at the end of the London game. Did you see it?
Yeah. I woke up a little late, but
Like, man, like I get it. You're trying to make plays, but it was one turnover after another, after another, after another.
See, I think that's the case of forcing plays.
Well, yeah, that's what I just said.
Trying to keep your job.
That's what I'm saying.
Versus
But,
playing like it's yours.
but you
to
also
lose.
have to watch that you don't go overboard, because if you're trying to keep your job, you also can't be turning it over at an inexorbitant amount of time. Did I use that term right?
Exuberant.
Exuberant amount of time. Like it was multiple in the fourth quarter. It wasn't just one or two. Like you have, once against the Cowboys, late in the game, he had the one interception where he was forcing it, and that you understand. But when it's one after another, he even had one in the last second of the game, the very last play where he fumbled it. Like it's kind of going to show that, like, are you able to take care of the ball? Can we really trust you? Like, when it gets to that kind of level of carelessness, it's alarming. And I think, he had a case. I believe he had a case if he was more careful with the ball. But I think once he started to really turn it over a lot late in that game, I think that's when he absolutely, to me, lost it there. I really think, but I personally, from what I see, from my opinion, if I'm the Jags, I know what I have in Nick Foles. And I get it, the money is a thing. It's an issue because you paid him a lot of money. But to me, you know what you have in Nick Foles. You don't know for sure what you have in Minshew. And Minshew could be the future. So to me, I play Minshew because I want to see what I can do with him. But that's just me. But they are going with BDN, Big Dick Nick. I'm not sad that he's playing. I'm happy he's playing. I hope he plays well. I'm just saying, like, if from a franchise standpoint, I still would have rolled with Minshew.
Yeah, I mean, you could play the case both ways. I mean, the money is definitely talks, and the hot hand
Yeah.
does too. But the issue is when you have a guy that's scared to play because he doesn't know whether you're starting or not, and not just playing to play. Obviously, that shows in a big game. Now, you don't necessarily know, is it okay? Is it jet lag it all playing overseas, shorter week, not playing it in on a field that you're used to or in an environment you're used to. Obviously also being a rookie, but there's just way too many mistakes to be comfortable with a guy that to not play a guy that is proven to be okay enough
Yeah.
to get you through with the team that you got.
I hear you. Ralphie, any thoughts?
No, I just think that I think the offense is just going to be what the offense is going to be in Jacksonville. Just vanilla, run the ball, give Fournette the ball 30 times, and hopefully you can win the game. Because your defense just hasn't been the same. You know what I mean? Hasn't been the same since 2017.
They have talent. That's so crazy.
Yeah, me and Kev were talking about it. I said they still got A.J. Bouye. They still got Miles Jack as their middle linebacker.
That defensive line still has
Calais
talent.
But they're
Campbell's still
complementing
there.
each other, though.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
You're not
I
putting
really
up
don't.
You
points.
just lost Dante Fowler last year, the trade to the Rams, and then you lost Jalen Ramsey this year.
Yeah, to the Rams.
Yeah, to the Rams.
All right, so that's that. Let's get into some grades to finish out the show. Grades and awards. I'll go Eagles. You go Pats. Ralphie, you can go whatever. Pick whatever. If you want to go Eagles or whatever. And then give a name and give a grade. You can go you can go player, coach, just name like a random player that you want to grade and give a grade. But for the Eagles, so far this year, for the offense, I'm going to give them probably like a C plus, maybe B minus, somewhere around that range. They've been good. They've been a lot better recently, which has boosted their grade. But there have been times, like if you're talking about a whole, they dropped passes, Nelson and J-Jaw, late in the game that literally cost them 2 wins. So they've been better as of late, but I'm going to say like a C plus or a B minus. Defense, I'm going to say like a D or a C minus, but trending up. For coaching, they're trending up, but I'm going to say probably around like a C plus. I hate to lump it together.
Yeah.
Because I know like the defense and offense, but like coaching overall, I'm going to have to say like a C plus, probably around there. Is what I grade them. Like all in all, the Eagles have like a C plus grade, I think, from me, and that reflects on their record. Like they're slightly above average, but I need to see more.
For me,
Hey, go.
Yeah. for me, it's a little tricky. I think overall, I put them at a B plus, although their record obviously shows a little bit more. But they're playing two different styles of ball on either side. The defense, A plus. I haven't seen them play like this ever. I think to me, you've got Stephon Gilmore, who's the best corner in the league this year. You've got complementary pieces on both sides. DeSean Jackson and the McCourty twins both playing right around an A. As far as getting the job done, it would be number ones on any other team. For me, you've got Chase Winovich, who he's been good, not great, but he's got so many other good pieces around him. He's only about B minus. You're right where you would expect a rookie to be, but he's a prototypical Patriot, so you expect him to step in and be a standout stud. And then on the offensive side of the ball, it's like a B minus. I mean, you're doing just enough to win.
To get by.
Brady's forcing mistakes that he usually doesn't in the fumble that went back for a touchdown, red zone interceptions.
That's all year.
But then again, you're also reading defenses enough to still be Brady and
Yeah,
throw
yeah,
those
yeah.
accurate plays when you have to,
Yeah.
and still be right there, in games down late, and then blowing teams out, obviously. But again, up into the Ravens game, if only your defense took the field, you win 4 games just on the points that they put up. So,
Yeah.
and obviously, I've got no issues with our play call. It's A+ all the way around there.
Yeah.
Which is surprising to me because Steven Belichick is actually calling the plays,
Yeah.
defensive side of the ball, and he looks like he's going to be the protege to take over for his dad, Rutgers guy. So
Are you?
that will be nice to see, and I hope that trends that way because obviously, hopefully, father like Sonny, steps in and there's no gap in coaching.
Yeah.
'Cause, I dread that day when both him and Brady are gone.
Yeah. I mean, I would as a person who respects the Patriots a lot, and that's I know a lot of people that's questionable because a lot of people want to the cheating thing, but I have so much respect for Belichick because he's just a freaking genius, and you can learn a lot just by watching what he does. So let's hope that his son is at least even half the coach that Bill is.
And on a side note, they sound and interview identical. I mean, you close your eyes, you can't tell who's being interviewed.
All right, well at least we got that.
Yeah.
Ralphie, grades.
I'm gonna go Andre Dillard for the first couple games that we saw. I throw the Vikings game out because he was just thrown.
We're just throwing it in there, so you don't have to. Yeah.
Those 2 games he played, I'm gonna give him an A-, bro.
Okay, I would give him a B+, but
I'm gonna give him an A-.
Yeah.
He played good. He was, whenever Khalil Mack was on him last week, he shut him down. He held his own against Khalil Mack. A grade I'll give another rookie who's been impressive so far that everybody said, oh, this dude's not going to make it in the NFL. He can only run one route, and that's DK Metcalf.
Yeah, those were
DK Metcalf, man. I'll give that dude an A- too.
I never understood the whole for me, if you go back to what I was saying about DK, his lack of how am I gonna say his lack of agility. For me, it was a question mark in terms of having it in the top 10.
Yeah.
A lot of people had him as wide receiver 1 and had him as a top 10 pick. That's what I questioned. I was like, I don't know about putting him in the top 10 because if you're in the top 10, you have to be pretty flawless as a prospect.
Yeah.
That's where I dropped him, but I had him as a late first round grade. I never once said, he's never going to pan out. I've seen the Twitter screenshots by some people. They're like, look at these, and they record it and they show the screenshots of people saying,
Just
he's going to be a
people,
bust.
Yeah, seen that.
Where is that? You're that big and you run that fast. You go under good coaching. You
have to have talent. There's talent somewhere.
There's
in there.
talent. You go to a good coach, they're going to bring you the most of it. So there's stuff to work with. So I never understood that whole DK is going to be the bust thing. I would have gladly wanted him in the second round. And it's tough that we passed on him because we could have taken him and we got J. John said, but I still like J. John, but I get that's DK has been great for the Seahawks. It's going to be tough playing against the Seahawks in a few weeks. So I get that. DK, great rookie year.
What I don't understand is why people lean too much on the agility side. I know that it's got to be there for a receiver, but when you're that big, I mean, you don't really put agility on a tight end who's got that type of size.
I think it's because
you're so much bigger than any corner is going to be. That's why he's leading all rookies in receiving yards, is because just throw the ball up in the air.
I think people just took it overboard. I think that's where I'm saying for me, he wouldn't be in the top 10.
Yeah.
Because if you're gonna be in the top 10, you have to be pretty squeaky clean, and not having those red flags in terms of agility. That's something. I have to put you. I have to rank you somewhere.
Right.
You know what I mean? So as a draft, someone who is into the whole draft evaluation side, I'm gonna take note of your lack of agility and your bad agility testing, and it's gonna drop you down a bit. But when you're elite in one area and you have that kind of size, you're not gonna fall off that much.
Right.
He was always in the first round for me, just not in the top 10. But some people take it way too far. That's what I'm saying. They look at one narrative and they blow it out of proportion.
Yep.
It's like they say, oh, no agility. Oh, you're gonna be bad. No, like you're just making note of something. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Awards real quick before we go. I want to touch on it. Let's go from like least to, I don't want to say least, but like let's go offensive rookie of the year, defensive rookie of the year, and then MVP, and then coach of the year. If you want to do comeback player of the year, you can. Offensive rookie of the year, real quick. I think I'm gonna go as of right now, Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on the same page.
Yeah, dude, that dude. How he wasn't at least top 15? He fell all the way down to 25.
Well, because he's a running back.
Yeah.
So, and plus he didn't have a lot of experience, a lot of playing time in college. But like, I laugh at the people that say, "Oh, Alabama running backs, they're no good." Like, I never understood. Like, I'm not big in college on college stuff, so like maybe I'm just jaded to the whole thing. But the whole thing, like with the Penn State running backs and Alabama running backs, like people saying they're no good. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't care where you play. I see you have skill, you have skill. Like, I don't understand that. Like, Josh Jacobs, I knew from the second I studied him, he was going to be really good. So he'd be on my offensive rookie of the year. Kevin, we'll go for you first. Defensive rookie of the year.
I think that's probably one of the easiest ones. I think it's got to be Bosa.
Thank you.
I mean, there's no other option there.
It's too easy, bro. It's Nick Bosa.
Nick
That
Bosa.
dude right now is better than his brother.
Yes.
Last week,
100% better than his
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah.
And there's no argument.
Yeah.
you can't tell me that there's not a competition there. The last
Yeah,
week,
yeah, yeah.
Last week they were NFC and AFC players of the
Yep.
week.
Yeah.
They get pissed at each other.
Oh
I
my
bet you.
God. Yeah, Nick Bosa. It's absolutely Nick Bosa. He was my pick for defensive rookie of the year before the year, and so far I'm looking good on that end. He's unbelievable. He's so good. Defensive player of the year. It's a little tougher. I think I'm gonna have to go with Nick Bosa.
He wins it both.
He wins it both. You could
I'm
make an
gonna-
argument for. I'm gonna say it. You can make an argument for a Patriots player.
Yeah,
Like you would have a legit argument.
I'm gonna have to go Stephon Gilmore.
Good pick.
For me, it's I think it's too hard for a rookie to win it. Not saying he can't, but being that they have an exclusive, obviously, award for it, it's a little bit tougher to go across the board. And Stephon Gilmore's just been shut down. I mean, there's no number one has done anything on him across the board.
There are people that think he's overrated. I don't understand that. He's been amazing.
I wish we. Oh no, he was still with the Pats when we traded for Darby. Never mind. Because
Yeah.
I was gonna say I wish we traded for him instead of Darby.
Oh God, yeah. Oh God.
Traded Matthews for Darby.
Defensive player of the year.
Ah man. See, I don't want to go Gilmore too, so I'm gonna go someone else. I'm gonna go. I know he's been having a quiet year, but I'm gonna go Bobby Wagner.
Oh,
of
okay.
Seattle.
Okay. I mean, I can't argue that. Bobby Wagner's a stud. I haven't followed him as much this year. I'll have to go back and watch him a bit more. But yeah, I mean, I can't argue against that. Offensive player of the year, Christian McCaffrey, without a doubt.
Same. Obviously, we know how the MVP race goes, which
Yes.
we'll touch in a minute.
That's gonna go.
You got to put him somewhere. You can't not
Yeah,
give the guy.
he's too good. Yeah, Christian McCaffrey.
McCaffrey's good. He is.
Who you gonna
He's
go
really
with?
good. I don't want to make a clean sweep, but if I had to, if he had a gun to my head, I would go McCaffrey.
Okay,
I would go McCaffrey.
you kind of have to. I mean, like,
I mean, the dude touches the
He's
ball and he walks in the end zone every
yeah,
time.
it's insane. It's insane.
To me, it's unbelievable the size that he put on. He doubled in size.
That's what
the past.
That's what
couple
I was
years.
concerned with him. And real quick, I know I talk too much, but like before the draft, that's what I was concerned with. Is he gonna have the muscle mass to be a featured kind of back to justify taking him that early in the draft?
I mean,
He
looks
showed
like a
it,
defensive
man.
back.
He showed it. He put on the muscle, and he's able to take that every down lead back, feature back kind of role as a workhorse. Jesus, like I think to be honestly, he's the closest thing to Brian Westbrook we've had since Brian Westbrook, and then Brian Westbrook was the closest thing to Marshall Faulk we had since Marshall Faulk. Like you're talking about guys specifically like that mold that are dual threats. It's Marshall Faulk, Brian Westbrook, and now Christian McCaffrey. And I know people might say LaDainian Tomlinson, but he was never the type. He was never used as a receiver the way Falk,
Yeah.
Westbrook, and
of the
Thing
speed
were.
he had.
Yeah, like he wasn't used like as a wide receiver like they are. That's why I don't include him. But those three are in that same mode. Like McCaffrey is unbelievable. All right, and then let's do Coach of the Year. I'll do Coach. I'll mention Coach and Comeback. Comeback Player of the Year, Brandon Brooks. Like, and
Yeah,
you
off
can
the,
s-
4
you
5
can-
months off the
you-
Achilles.
Off the Achilles, and you can also make a case for Emmanuel Sanders too, off that injury. But first come to mind, like he is an absolute elite offensive guard. He's playing the best football out of any offensive guard, and he had an Achilles injury in the divisional round of the playoffs. That's unreal. He hasn't even missed a game. That's insane to me. Like it's Brandon Brooks, a comeback player of the year, coach of the year, Kyle Shanahan. Easy, go.
For me, it's Jimmy Garoppolo has come back,
I like it.
and
I like it a lot.
Jimmy!
Jimmy GQ hitting on Aaron Andrews.
I know, I see
that was
that.
so great.
I know.
Uh,
I think she's married, right?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Is she married?
To Jarrett Stahl.
Well, got competition.
Yeah, it's not a competition. Jimmy GQ is gonna win that.
For me, Coach of the Year. I don't want to sound like a homer, but I don't know how you could put anyone over Belichick.
I mean, Belichick
just,
should be in the conversation every season.
dude, just because of what he's doing with the pieces and moves he's making on top of he's calling every play right now.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have to look at it what it is. Yes, he has coordinators, but it's more staff members than a true coordinator position. I mean, he's calling every play, every down, both sides of the ball. So,
My
without
coach
doubt.
of the
Coach
my
and
coach
comeback.
of the year. I don't have a comeback player.
Okay, that's fine.
completely honest. My coach.
Brandon
of the year,
Brooks, that's your comeback player of the year. Go, coach.
My coach of the year will have to be. Oh my goodness, I just lost. Oh, Sean McDermott. 6-2 Buffalo Bills, man.
Yeah, no.
I mean, their offense isn't that great, but their defense is loaded. They're a good defense. I mean, I know that, and some people can say, they haven't really played anybody, but you play who's on their schedule, and they're a 6-2 football team, and they're right there in the AFC East.
I mean, they kept it. It was 16-10.
yeah,
Patriots.
16-10 in Buffalo. Yeah,
I mean, that's granted, I don't think it will be as close the second time through, especially in Foxborough. But to keep it that close against a team that was clicking on all cylinders, then you got to give it to them.
Yeah.
If not Belichick, I think I would lean McDermott.
Yeah. No. Those are very, very, very good choices. All right, and MVP. Ralphie, go with you, and then we'll go with you, Kev.
my MVP of this year.
There are some legitimate names.
There is.
Yeah, so it's tough.
Well, I had McCaffrey's. It's tough to win 2 awards like that.
Running back's not going to win MVP. I hate that.
Yeah.
But that's just the way the league is. So I don't count running backs. It's good. It's just a quarterback league. So I just look at the quarterbacks. I hate it. I don't agree with it. It's just how it is.
I'm gonna have to go with him. Number 12. I'm gonna have to go Brady.
Brady has the MVP so
Yes,
far.
sir.
He hasn't been playing that well.
I just can't.
If
I
you're-
can't down him, dude.
I mean, I would agree if you would say.
See,
if
can
you-
you put Mahomes as MVP even though he's been missing these 3 games?
No.
No, I don't think he's up
But I
there.
have other guys ahead of them.
Yeah, I look at it this way. I look at who's most important to their team. And for me, Brady is up there because of the game management. But as far as overall play, who is winning your football game, it's got to be Russell Wilson for me. I don't think that they are in any of these games without Russell Wilson. To throw 350 yards, 5 touchdowns. I mean, and that's that's knowing every drive you have to score. It's in a game that you can't run.
Yeah.
I mean, that takes a talented quarterback to go out there and say, "All right, don't worry, guys, I got you."
Exactly. The candidates to me, I'll go like top 3. It's Wilson, it's Aaron Rodgers, and it's Deshaun Watson. Between those 3, it's gotta be Wilson. Like it's for reasons you said. He's just playing lights out. There's no other quarterback that is as valuable to his team as he is, and he's been consistent. I mean, he hasn't been perfect. I mean, they have 2 losses, And he has had some. He's messed up. But I mean, like, no one's perfect. So I'm not saying that he's been clean all year, but he is playing better than anyone right now, any quarterback right now. And to me, it's easy. It's Russell Wilson. Aaron Rodgers and Deshaun Watson are right behind them. So depending on what happens in the second half of the year, they could catch up. It's still long. It's still, we still got half the year to go. So they're right there. You can talk about Lamar Jackson too, as being up there too. But to me, it's Russell Wilson.
Yeah, but running backs don't get awards for MVP.
You're funny.
So.
You're funny. Guys, good show. We had a lot of good conversation this we fit in a lot. We went a little bit over time, but I mean, it's okay. I'm gonna allow it. Ralphie, thank you so much for stepping in for the bro.
Yeah, man.
It's always good to have you. Always do a good job. Godwin, Mr. Godwin. This week both of us will be relaxing on our bye weeks before the big Super Bowl 52 rematch. So make sure you enjoy the bye week. I kind of like bye weeks in the sense that it's not stressful at all. Like, you don't have to worry about your team. Well, you're the Patriots. You don't have to stress. What am I talking about?
I mean, you guys only have to stretch because you guys have, Lane Johnson who wants to run off at the mouth.
Anyways, and guys, enjoy the bye week. Watch some stress-free football on Sundays.
Finally.
So yeah, stress-free. Not have to worry about it.
Yes.
And just enjoy football. Enjoy the other games. Enjoy Niners Seahawks on Monday night. The marquee matchup of the week. That's going to be an amazing game. Can't wait for that. Definitely want to recap that next week. But anyways, great show. Thanks for tuning in. Tomorrow, there's no fix tomorrow, right?
There is fixed.
Oh, there is a fix tomorrow. Okay, so fix AM and PM tomorrow. Lazy booking and hockey happy hour on Thursday. Philly Sports Guys on Friday. Weekly roundup on Saturday with our new addition to the team, James Tatum, right?
Yep.
James Tatum. Not Jason. He makes that very clear. James Tatum. Agree to disagree. It's very ring and the rundown on Sunday. Sports Hounds on Monday, and then our soccer show before Birds of a Feather.
Yep.
Kicking it stateside on Tuesdays. Guys, it was fun. This is Birds of a Feather on ATD Radio, live from the Real Talk Studios. We were brought to you by our dog, Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy LLC, SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com, and by ATS Sports Picks, ATSSportsPicks.com. Remember to use the promo code ATD to get your 20% off from Chuck's, Godwin, The Crumb, Ralph Delavecchio. Have a great week, guys. Watch out. Be on the lookout for my videos and my articles this week. As always, I'm pushing out a lot of great, a lot of content out there that I'm trying to get out as much as I can. So look out for them on my Twitter and everything else. So enjoy the rest of the week, guys. We will see you next week. Hopefully, Chrome will be back. Fly, Eagles, fly.